my channel. Happy Monday. I am here today to kit up my next diamond painting with you guys, which at the beginning of the month was not a kit I thought I would be working on. But if you saw my unboxing last week, which was kits that were gifted to me by subscribers, one of my subscribers, Jeannie, sent me her extra copy of Opal Fairy by Mrs. Butter D. This is a kit that came out, I want to say maybe early February, and it sold out so quickly. I was not able to get my hands on it, and Jeannie had an extra one, so she sent it my way, and I am so excited to work on this diamond painting. So this is Opal Fairy by Mrs. Butter D. It's a 50.6 by 63.8 centimeter round drill kit. We have 72 colors with, I think it's 3 ABs and 5 fairy dust drills, but I'm also going to be adding my own specials, which we'll talk about at the end. I don't know, the enhancement bug kind of caught me this week, and I was like, you know what? I'm adding a bunch of stuff to this diamond painting, because if any kit, it has to be this one, right? Like, I'm very, very excited to make those changes, but also to just be working on this kit. So today I'm going to be kitting up in my new round drill stands from Mirthful Diamond Art. I did an unboxing on these. If you watched last week's kitten chat, I kitted up in the Forever Young storage stands, and I wanted to use both of them like right after the other so I could do a full comparison. I wanted everything to be fresh in my mind. So I am very excited to be kitting up in these. I have all 3 full. There are 72 colors in this one. So I have, I can't remember how many I have here in front of me. So I should have plenty, and it also gives me room to use multiple containers, for example, like with 814 where I have multiple bags. I have my iPad going in the background because it is the Paralympic hockey gold medal match, another match between USA and Canada. So I have to have it going in the background. So if you see me check out for a moment or hear me check out for a moment, that's what's going on there. So actually, I need this. I don't really need a tray. I need this funnel. So I have my funnel, my labels, some scissors. I have some dryer sheets already cut up over here if I need them. I have my washi tape, and I think that means I have everything I need. Sorry, I do have a runny nose, so I will either be pausing or sniffling in the background. I will try to pause if it gets crazy, but I think we're ready to go. I also have a garbage can over here. I endeavor to keep this as tidy as possible, but whenever I kit up, it always turns into a big mess. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, I have already sorted out my drills. They are sorted by hundreds. That is how I prefer to kit up. I do actually get questions about that when I start a kitting up video. So I have my 100s, 200s, 300s, 400s, etc. in their own little piles. So when I get to that number, for example, when I get to the 200s, I can just grab all the 200s, and then it's less drills to sort out. So that's why I do that. So I have my washi tape. I'm going to cut a little piece, and then I also do trim down my labels. So I don't particularly like to have the number column here, so where it says like 35, 36, 37. I always trim that off. Too many numbers on my stickers, number one, confuses me. Because if I'm looking for number 956, I don't also want to be looking for number 35. Personal preference, especially with these early codes where it's like a number and then another number. It's a whole thing. Anyway, doesn't really matter. So let's go ahead and get started. And because I already have pre-cut dryer sheets, I am going to preemptively use them. at this point, I kind of just put dryer sheets in everything. These drills don't look particularly bad. I'm just, you know, better safe than sorry. So, since my last kitting up video, I have finished that diamond painting, which was Taurus Zodiac Kitten. You will see that post review this Friday. So far in March, I have completed 2 kits in 2 weeks, which is fantastic. I don't think that's going to happen with this one. I think I'm probably going to take a little bit longer with this one, although it's a really great size, so maybe not. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I'd love to finish another kit after this, but I don't want to rush it because I'm very excited to have this one. So I finished that diamond painting. It was a full work week. We are in March, which for me, I work for a local school district, is like one of the only months out of the year where we do not get a day off. So bummer, but it wasn't too bad. I feel like things are kind of like leveling out a little bit. I had been having somewhat of a difficult time at work over the last month. And I feel like potentially things are kind of chilling out, which is good because come April, it is crazy through June, the last day of school. So lots going on, but nothing too out of the ordinary. Steven and I have been watching the World Baseball Classic every night, and that has been a lot of fun. But other than that, it was a pretty low-key week. We did get teased with some like really nice weather, and then it's freezing cold again. So welcome to spring in New York State. We never know what the weather is actually going to be the next day. Like tomorrow, we're due a 60-degree day, and then the day after is supposed to be like 30. So my runny nose and sore throat and all of that, I do contribute to the weather right now because it's been so nice and then so crappy the next day. What else? I don't really know. Honestly, it was a pretty chill week. So this is the second weekend in a row that I have forgotten to feed my sourdough starter in a timely manner so that I could make bread. I bought the stuff to make bread. So last week I was supposed to try and make copycat Subway rolls. Steven wanted to try subs, which is cool. I mean, something I'd like to try. But I didn't feed my starter in time, so I couldn't make those last weekend. And then I was like, that's okay. This weekend I'll just make, you know, a loaf or 2 of bread. I never fed my starter. So no bread. I feel like I haven't been giving you guys a sourdough update lately. And that's why. The problem with me is like the second it comes out of my routine, I have such a hard time getting it back into my routine. So next weekend, I would like to make some bread. It's hard working full time and like having a bread schedule. So it's not something that I necessarily want to do during the week. I like to take my time and work on it over the weekend. So hopefully, I don't know, I feel like next time I need to, ooh, USA just scored a goal. I feel like next week I need to put it on my like Google Calendar or something so I get an alert to feed my sourdough starter, because I have been missing doing that. It is a lot of fun, and I don't want to, number one, I don't want to kill my starter, obviously. I did take it out and feed it last week, even though it was too late to make these sub rolls. I did feed it, so she's good to go. Miss Bessie is hanging on, but I would like to be using Miss Bessie, so I need to fit that into the schedule next weekend. 5/18. So yeah, honestly, nothing too exciting going on here. Been doing some diamond painting. I've gotten my reading bug back, which is great. I have been watching the Corey Richins trial, and I know some of you are also watching Corey Richins. I need to know if you are shocked by what happened on Thursday afternoon. No spoilers. I will not be spoiling it for anybody who's behind, because I know how much of a bummer they can be. But were you surprised with what happened Thursday afternoon? Because I absolutely was, and I feel gypped because we were supposed to have a very long trial, and I don't think it's going to be a very long trial anymore. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens, but I am still very much enjoying Corey Richins' trial. Not enjoying it. That sounds very strange, but I've been enjoying the distraction. How about that? At work. And then what else? Okay, no buy update. I did not buy anything this weekend on releases from diamondartclub. I haven't bought anything at all. However, that brings me to a different topic, but let's talk about diamondartclub releases first. I did get 2 sneak peeks this week, which was fabulous. And there were, I can't remember the name of the kit, but there was like this really beautiful pastel diamond painting that definitely caught my eye, but not enough to continue my my trend of breaking the no buy every weekend. However, did you guys see a preview from Dreamer Designs? It went up on Saturday afternoon. They previewed a Mandy Manzano? Question mark. Hello? Did any of you know that Dreamer Designs had licensed with Mandy Manzano? Because I did not. Mandy Manzano is one of my absolute favorite artists in general, especially diamond painting artists. I did an entire year of Mandy Manzano kits a couple of years ago. I worked on a kit from her once a month, which was crazy. I don't think I would ever do it again, but I really enjoyed it. But one of her Little Mermaid images is with Dreamer Designs. It's part of their overseas collection, which is intriguing to me because I've never ordered from their overseas collection. So I don't know. I would assume that the quality is the same. If you've never heard me talk about Dreamer Designs, I do prefer their round drills over their squares. Oh, this is in the wrong pile. 6,000. I do prefer their round drills over their squares. And I have for many years at this point. But that was so unexpected to me. I was like, huh? Because I swear that I recall seeing a Mandy Manzano in diamondartclub voting at some point, somewhat recently. So do any of you know? Do any of you have like the tea on that? I stay pretty far away from diamond painting community gossip. It gives me anxiety, and I already have enough of that. But I'm very curious about that. I'd love to know if any of you guys have heard. I checked Mandy's Instagram, and she hadn't made an announcement. I haven't seen anything come through from diamondartclub, so I don't know. I wonder if she's licensing with both. I'm unsure, but imagine if Dreamer Designs is able to bring out the princess panels, how crazy that's gonna be. Because that would just be absolutely crazy. We'll see what happens. I'm excited to follow along, but yeah, I don't know. I was just curious if anybody knew anything more about that situation. So that brings me to say, no, I have not broken my no buy. However, I am now tempted because for a couple of reasons. Number one, Mandy Manzano at Dreamer Designs. Would be curious to see the rendering, because in my opinion, my humble opinion, Dreamer Designs can get a little funky with some of the face renderings. Now, I pretty much only do Curtis Reikovich images from Dreamer Designs. I have a couple of kits from other artists from them, but for the most part, most of my Dreamer Design stash is Curtis Reikovich. Whoa. And I find that they render his kits very well. For the most part, I think they've gotten much better as the years have gone on, but also, like, his kits are just a little out there anyway, so I feel like some of the rendering quirks that Dreamer Designs has, I feel like they just work with Curtis Reikovich images, and I like them. My 2 damsels that I completed from Dreamer Designs last year both ended up in my favorite kits of the year, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't want you guys to think I don't like Dreamer Designs, because I do. I very much like their rounds. Not the biggest fan of their squares, but it's been a while since I've worked on one, so probably shouldn't really speak to it at this point. But I am very curious about the over the seas kits, meaning they ship from overseas. They're not in their USA warehouse. So I'm very curious about that, and I have been very curious about that for many years. I feel like they're on year 3, potentially, of the overseas kits, maybe year 2. But I would be very curious about the shipping process. Also, those kits are cheaper. They're more affordable. You can choose round drills or square drills, which is also very interesting to me. And I would be very curious to see how they render that Mandy Manzano. So I don't know. I feel like my mind was kind of blown yesterday afternoon when I saw a Mandy because I saw like the Mandy pop up and I looked at the shop and I was like, wait a minute, that's not diamondartclub. What's happening? So yeah, interesting. Very, very interesting. But will they release the princess panels? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'd love to know where your guys' heads are at. Okay, Mandy Manzano. What else did I want to talk about? I'm trying to remember. Also, it has not gone over my head that I was prepared with dryer sheets, and literally none of these drills have static, of course. But you know what? If I didn't have them over here and if I wasn't using them, the static would be horrible. So I'm going to count it as a win. A win is a win. Okay, no buy. I did that. Oh, I wanted to give you guys an update on those Forever Young trays. So I talked about them, I think I might have talked about them in last week's kitten chat, and then I definitely talked about it in this past Friday's post review. But I've spoken to a couple of you guys who have since purchased the two-tone trays, and I want to say I've spoken to 3 or 4 of you, I think, at this point. And you guys have said that your two-tone trays have been great, no issues. So that is very curious to me. However, nobody that I have spoken to bought the same colorways that I bought. So I'm wondering if the issue maybe isn't the two-tone colored trays as a whole. Maybe it's just the colors that I chose. So I did leave like full reviews, and obviously I've returned everything. I did get my refund and all that, which is great. But I just wanted to kind of pass that along, that it seems like it's only certain colorways, potentially only the colors that I bought. And then I was like, is it a me problem? I don't think it is. I have been diamond painting a long time with 3D printed trays, and I've never had an issue, because I was like, gosh, was it like the way I was using my pen? I don't think so. I'm kind of leaning more towards it's an issue with certain colors. So I just wanted to relay that in case you were kind of on the fence about trying out those trays. It seems to be an issue with the colors that I chose versus an issue with the item as a whole. So do with that information what you will. I just wanted to share it in case you wanted to pick up those trays. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I had picked up a couple of trays from Forever Young, which, like, this is a Forever Young tray. Fantastic. I've used it multiple times, and I've never had an issue with the filament. So you can see, obviously, a diamond painting tray. We have the lines that help straighten the drills. When I saw that they had the two-tone trays, meaning the base was a certain color and then the lines were a different color filament, I was very intrigued. I was very excited. And then the two colors that I picked up both ended up having issues with the lines separating from the tray itself. So I had talked about that in a couple of videos and had gotten some comments saying, oh, I bought those, you know, same trays, different colors, and I haven't had those issues. So take that for what you will. Luckily, Amazon's really easy to return stuff through, so even if you just want to try them and go from there, just wanted to pass along that info. Speaking of Amazon, I have collected some things for a Amazon diamond painting video for this month. However, one of the items came absolutely destroyed, shattered beyond belief. So that video was supposed to be this Wednesday, and I think I'm going to have to push it. So I'm still waiting for that item, the replacement item, to get here. And then if you guys remember back to my like new releases unboxing, where I unboxed 2 kits from Amazon, a kit that came out as a new release a couple weeks ago from diamondartclub, and a wishlist restock. I think that might have been 2 weeks ago at this point. I had mentioned that I had purchased a third diamondartclub kit from Amazon. It was a Jeremiah Kettner, and it just wasn't coming on time. Well, my intention is to include that in the Amazon video, but it still hasn't gotten here. It's sitting in Ohio. I don't know what's taking it so long. So I think I'm going to push that video. It will not be this Wednesday's video, but I also haven't decided what this Wednesday's video is going to be just yet. So there will be a video Wednesday. What it's going to be, I don't know just yet. I did find a new to me shop, diamond painting shop on Instagram. So I might do a wishlist Wednesday. Originally I was going to just skip wishlist Wednesday this week, which I know would be, or this month I should say, which I know would be a bummer to some of you, because there are some of you that are very loyal to that series, but it's not a series that does outstanding on the channel, which is totally fine. But if I can replace that in favor of a video that more people like, I'm going to do that. However, I'm very excited about this new shop. So I think this Wednesday is going to be Wishlist Wednesday, and the shop is running a really good sale through the end of the month. So I think it's probably a good time to highlight them. So I think it's going to be Wishlist Wednesday and then Post Review Friday this week. So Monday kitting up video, Wishlist Wednesday, and then Post Review Friday. That is the tentative plan, but as you guys know, sometimes things change. But I think that's where we're at. Okay, $8.98. Okay, so I mentioned to you guys that ever since I opened this kit, I have had the enhancement bug meaning that I just feel the urge to add as many special drills to this kit as I can. Now, this is something that I used to do to my diamond paintings all the time. I used to add ABs to literally every diamond painting I worked on. And then I kind of just, I don't want to say that I didn't like to do it, but I felt like we had kind of gotten to a point where companies were just adding so many special drills because it's what they thought people wanted, and maybe it was, but it was just getting to be a little too much. You know, like the beauty of the kit was being overshadowed by unnecessary special drills. So I had stopped adding specials to my own kits. Now, last year I did have a goal to kind of come back to that, if you will. I have a huge, absolutely massive special drill collection. I've done videos on it. And I'm like, I have all these drills just laying around. I need to be using them. So I did end up enhancing a couple of kits last year. And I think I took that off of my bucket list for 2026. Not because it's something I don't want to do. I just felt like it needs to kind of be an organic thing versus a like, here's the schedule. You have to add specials to a kit in February, in June, in August. You know what I mean? I just felt like it was too rigid of a system. So when I unboxed this diamond painting, I was like, I need to add a white drill. I was actually really surprised that DiamondArtclub didn't chart a white fairy dust drill for the wings and stuff. So decided to take that on myself. Now, I kind of went down a rabbit hole because the kit, the only white in this diamond painting is 3865, which if you're familiar with the DMC, whether through cross stitch or if you've been a diamond painter for a long time, 3865 is actually like an off-white. The true white drill or yarn thread, not yarn, thread in cross stitch is 5200. So I went on to Diamond Drills USA, which I have purchased replacement drills from in the past. They have a flat rate of shipping, which is fabulous. There's no like surprise shipping cost. I think it's a $5 shipping fee, unless, not shipping fee, but shipping rate, unless you go over a certain amount, and then I think it's free. Don't take my word for it, but I will try to remember to leave their site down below. So I went on to Diamond Drills USA and I ordered 3 bags of what they call Stardust 3865. Now, in the back of my head, I was like, I don't know if I ordered the right color, which is a me problem. I ordered the color that was charted, and that's that. So here is 3865 from this diamond painting. Here is 3865 Stardust from Diamond Drills USA. Now, I knew this was a mistake. I knew it was going to be a problem, and I very much understand dye loss. This is not a problem with Diamond Drills USA. The order came super fast. It's exactly what I ordered. It was $3 a bag, which is, in my opinion, a great price. And I'm very happy with my order itself. However, I knew that DiamondArtclub's 3865 is just the tiniest bit whiter versus off-white, which the traditional 3865 is. So now I'm kind of like, what do I do? Like, I really want to add in those fairy dust drills. But I feel like if I use this yellow, it's just going to be too yellow, especially because at the front of her wings, like closest to her back, this is very yellow already. So I feel like these drills are going to look even more yellow. So I do not have enough Diamond Art Club 3865 fairy dust, like from past kits. I don't have enough of that to do everything I want to replace on this canvas. So I'm kind of thinking, and if you remember, I asked you about this in this week's vlog. If you haven't watched the vlog yet, I do like an entire spiral. It's like a full-on deep dive into what I should do. So I kind of feel like I need to just use 5200. Like I feel like the drills provided in the kit are closer to 5200 than 3865. So here's my question to you. Why aren't you using the funnel? That's not my question to you. That's my question to myself. Do I go with my gut? And do I actually replace those fairy dust drills with 5200? Or do I stick to the yellow tinged 3865? This has been a spiral for me. I even was like comparing colors with Steven, who does not diamond paint. But I was like, which one looks better? So I'm thinking, now I don't know if I would buy through Diamond Drills USA or if I would just get them off of Amazon, because I'd be able to get them faster. So this whole situation, as dramatic as it is, it almost prevented me from working on this kit, because I'm very much one of those people who, like, once I get a thing in my head, like, that's the thing. So the idea of not adding those white fairy dust drills, I can't do that anymore. Like, I have to. My brain has already told me we're doing this. So I was almost like, I think I'm going to have to skip on this kit until I can figure out exactly what to do. And I don't want to do that. I want to work on this diamond painting. So let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Because I will be changing to a fairy dust drill. I just don't know if I should do this or where are the white? So this is 3865 Stardust. This is 3865 regular from Diamond Art Club, and oh, here they are. This is 5200. I feel like I have to go 5200, right? In a fairy dust drill. Help me. Help me make a decision. I don't know. I think it has to be 5200. I feel like I'm just using you guys to convince myself, but please let me know. Please give me your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. And I have decided, so I was kind of, when I was unboxing this kit, I was like, should I replace all of the 3865? Is that going to be too much? So I think I've decided that I'm going to leave her hair as is. I might potentially sprinkle a couple in, but with the colors being so off, I'll probably just keep her hair plain 3865. But I want to use the fairy dust in her wings, in her dress, in the stars in the sky, and then there'll be some also in the opals that are floating around her. At least that is my plan. So that was my spiral, my diamond painting spiral for the week. How do I make what I want to happen happen? We'll see what happens. Stay tuned. But yes, I am very much looking forward to working on this diamond painting. I think it is absolutely gorgeous, and I think it's kind of a really nice, what's the word I'm looking for? Transition? It's like a really nice transition between winter and spring, because it has like the dark background, but then it has the pastel colors, so it's kind of like perfect. It's getting me in the spring mood. And then next month I can work on all my like flowery kits, which I'm also very much looking forward to. So that's the update on this diamond painting. We still have quite a few colors to go, and I don't know what else to talk about. Okay, 3072. Oh, I almost spilled. Hi. Yeah. USA Paralympic hockey is up 1-0 over Canada.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Oh, 4-0.
Yep.
Hello, everybody.
Everybody says hello. I ran out of things to talk about, but I'm not done kidding up. So do you want to give me a talking point? Nothing political.
No, I don't have any talking.
Come on. Help your girl out.
How's the weather out?
Thanks. Thanks so much for that.
I don't know.
What are you doing?
Just vibing.
Just vibing. Can you smell dinner yet?
No.
I put dinner in the crock pot.
Ooh, I'm gonna go sniff it.
Yeah. I'm making Mongolian beef meatballs in the crock pot. The recipe looked really good.
Nice.
So, fingers crossed. It's delicious. I know we're kind of moving out of crock pot season, but we've been having a difficult time coming up with dinners recently. It is not, it's not something either of us has been wanting to do. So I saw it on Instagram and I went for it. Okay. Let's keep moving here. The colors in this kit are so pretty. Also, can I just say, these stands from Mirthful Diamond Art, I have been, pulling drills containers out, I've been putting them in, and they have not budged at all. So I think these are going to be a win. I did have them sitting on my monitor stand, which is on top of my drafting table. I've done a video on that. Now they are a little bit taller. So my drafting table, I forgot to use the funnel. My drafting table is in front of a window. So they are taller and they do like obstruct the view a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. I think for the like sturdiness of them, I think they're definitely gonna work. Are you okay? I think Steven just dropped something. I think the sturdiness is definitely there. However, I will do a full review on them after I've used them. That's why I wanted to do a back-to-back of the Forever Young system and then this system so that they were fresh in my mind when the time came for the review. Oh, I think Canada just tied it. Oh boy. So yes, full review coming for that. We will see how everything goes. Okay, 3371. I'm kind of interested to see what the background is like of this diamond painting, because we had one small bag of 310 and then this is all we have of 3371, but the background looks very dark. So I'm curious. I guess maybe like burgundy. Maybe they use a lot of burgundy in the background. Curious to see what that looks like. 3607. I'm also kind of racking my brain trying to figure out what my accessories are going to be for this one. I feel like it might be kind of hard to match accessories, but I'm going to try. Don't you worry. I will try my darndest. We'll see what happens. And if you remember, keep an eye out for an accessories poll in the next day or two. 3608. We're getting there. 3608. I think Steven's on the phone, which is Great. Which means I need to keep talking, because it's one thing to have a little bit of dead air when there's nothing going on in the background, but when you can hear the phone call, that's a problem. And I don't know about you guys or your partners, but I think Steven's allergic to just using the phone correctly. Everything has to be speakerphone, which is one of my biggest pet peeves. Obviously he's home, which is fine, but he's also like a public speakerphone kind of guy. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. 37, 33. We're getting there. I forgot to put a garbage bag in my garbage can. How did I just realize that? I literally took the lid off and I didn't realize there was no garbage bag. Oh my gosh. Get it together, Laura. Okay. 37, 33. I would love to know down below what you guys are working on. What are you kitting up? What are you working on? What are you planning to work on? And if you guys have any insight about events that are happening, at least in April, I will be filming my Plan My Kits With Me video very soon. And I feel like we used to have a really... I feel like the places that used to track events either don't track all of the events and it's turned into like just their friends' events, which is totally fine. But it's really hard to find a comprehensive list of every event that's happening in the community at this point. Now, some of that could be different platforms and all that stuff, which I totally understand, but I feel like potentially the community got oversaturated with 37, 47. Yes. With like people that were tracking events, that now it's too many for people to reach out to and say, hey, I have an event. So it's hard for me to communicate to you guys all of the events that are happening because I can't track them all down. So, and I do like to do that in my Plan My Kits With Me video. I like to say, okay, these are the events that are going on. I'm going to participate in this one, or none of them are appealing to me. But I like to just get the word out because, you know, events are fun and it's nice to just give people a heads up. So if any of you are familiar with an event that is happening, at least in April, please let me know so I can include it in my Plan My Kits With Me video. I've kind of already chosen my kits for April, which I know. The whole point of Plan My Kits With Me is for me to plan them with you guys, but they're kits that I'm like, I've been saying, this is going to be a spring kit. This is going to be a spring kit. So they're just ones that have been at the top of my mind and I really want to work on them. So I feel like April probably isn't going to be an event month for me, but maybe May and June will be. I don't know. We'll see. 3770. Okay, I think this is going to be, yes, a 2 container color. Oops. Let's talk a little bit about books. Now, I know not everybody wants to, oh my gosh, Laura, dang it. I know not everybody wants to talk about books, so don't check out, but if you want to forward on past the book chat, we are going to be talking about the special drills that I'm adding in at the end of the video. So if you're curious about that, but you don't want to listen to me rant and rave about books, maybe you want to skip forward a little bit. So I feel like to start off this year, I had been having a little bit of a hard time not reading. I love to read. I'll read anything. But I just wasn't picking up as many books. And some of that had to do with work. I listen to audiobooks at work, but if it's stressful or there's other stuff going on, I don't listen because sometimes my brain just needs to be focusing on one thing. So I feel like I hadn't been reading as much so far in 2026, but in March, this month, obviously, the new releases have been absolutely wild. It's like almost every author that I love has put out a new release or is putting out a new release in March. Why am I saying it weird? So I've already read, gosh, like 7 books, I think, which for me is a little bit low. In previous years, I've read like a book a day. So, I know that's a little crazy, but it has happened in the past. But I think I've read 4 new releases already this month, and I've had 3 5-star reads in a row and then a 4.5 star. It has been insane. So highly recommend In Her Own League by Liz Tom Forday. 5 stars. So good. I also really enjoyed, what was the other one? I also really enjoyed, let me check my spreadsheet. Books read March. Across the Vanishing Sky by Catherine Cowles. Oh, it's a start of a new series for her. So good. And then I read The Hot Shot by Piper Rain, which is also a new release. I gave that one 4.5 stars. Like, the books have been booking this month, and I am very excited about that because I was kind of like, oh my gosh, am I going to be in like a massive reading slump for 2026? I don't think so. I think I was being a little dramatic. I think my headspace just wasn't really in a reading spot at that time, but I think we're doing all right. I think everything is coming back. Maybe I was just waiting for some really good books to come out, which is totally possible. So if you like book content, I have moved that over to the memberships. You are never, ever, ever, ever required or anything to join the memberships, but they are there. I do behind the scene vlogs and other member only videos. For example, I do books read videos. I do my book hauls. Ooh, USA just scored a goal. And I also do a TBR jar. So it helps me choose what I'm reading that month. It's an option if you're interested. Nothing diamond painting wise on this channel is behind a paywall. Everything on the channel has stayed the same. It was just some of the things that the community, this is a diamond painting channel. It is literally called Diamond Paintings by Laura. So it was totally understandable to me that the majority of people didn't want to hear about books, and that's totally fine. So I have moved stuff like that over to the memberships, but please rest assured that the main part of this channel, the diamond painting, you are not losing anything just because the memberships are on. All right, let me grab another dryer sheet. I did think I was going to have enough. So I'm just going to cut this whole sheet because I have a little bin that I like to keep them in anyway. So let's cut this. I always just fold mine in half so I don't have to make as many cuts. So we'll do that. Do this. And then we'll just cut down the center here. And then I'll stack them all up. Try to even them out. And then just cut them. Not the best scissors, but that's okay. All right, not too bad. Where are we here? We're doing all right. So, put our label on. I would also, I know I asked for a recommendation with the diamond painting events, but also I know I touched on Wishlist Wednesday earlier in the video. If you have any shops that you would be interested in seeing Wishlist Wednesday, please let me know. I'm always looking for new shops. I feel like unfortunately over the last few months we've lost a lot of small shops in the community, which is such a bummer. I have seen a few that have popped up, which is great to see. I have already chosen for this month, so this would be going forward in order to keep the series going, because I fear at some point we are just going to have to let it go. Because I think I've done close to every shop that I can find that is legally licensed. I don't do Wishlist Wednesday on, you know, the, what would you call them? I don't know, the shops that aren't legally licensed. For example, why can't I think of it? Why can't I think of any of those shops? You know, the cheaper budget companies. I don't do Wishlist Wednesday on those shops. I personally prefer to support fully licensed artwork. I'm not here to tell you or instruct you to only buy licensed artwork. That is your choice. But that is my preference. So that is what I share on the channel. So if you can think of a shop that I have not done a Wishlist Wednesday for that you would like to see, please let me know in the comments. The last time I mentioned possibly having to end the series, I got a couple comments like, please don't. But if I don't have any small shops to talk about, I don't know how to keep the series going. So if you have any recommendations, please let me know down below. I do have a playlist if you're curious of all the shops that I've already done. I think we've been doing this for like 2 years now, so I've done a lot at this point. So if you're new to the channel and you've never seen that series, I do have a full playlist, so feel free to check that out. And also feel free to let me know, maybe you have a favorite shop that I've never mentioned. Please let me know down below. Okay, we're getting there. We made it to the 3865. So I am going to still kit up all 3 bags of this, even though I'm going to be substituting some special drills. But I am still going to kit up all 3. Okay. So let's put that there. These ones do have a little bit of static, so I'm actually going to put a dryer sheet in the bottom. And then I will pour over. And try not to spill. Okay. I think I'm going to use up a decent amount of this last section here. Do the same, put this in the bottom. Okay. We're very close to talking about special drills, so thank you for hanging in with me while we got this one kitted up. I probably should have prepared some tag questions or something, but I didn't think it would take this long to kit this one up, honestly. Okay, get in there, dryer sheet. There we go. Will I be able to fit? Oh yeah, perfect. Okay, so I only used up 4 containers, which is perfect. Clean up my mess. The good old pick up the drills with your finger trick. I am going to put an extra dryer sheet in the top of this one because these drills seem to be extra staticky, so let's just preemptively. I am hoping to do some diamond painting today. I have a couple of house things that I need to do. I need to finish some laundry. Ooh, USA just scored another goal. I do need to do some laundry and stuff, but this evening is a very sports heavy evening in our house. So, if you're new here, I am a NASCAR fan. I know. People always have an opinion, but you like what you like. There's a NASCAR race on at 4. There's, my hockey team is playing at 7:30, I believe. And then Team USA plays in the World Baseball Classic at 8. So it's a very heavy sports day. And then obviously, like I mentioned, I do have the Paralympic hockey game on right now. So crazy. Sad to see the Paralympics go. I love the Olympics. I've mentioned it multiple times this past month with the regular Olympics on and now the Paralympics. I love the Olympics. So bummed to see that go, but it's okay. It is what it is. So yeah, lots going on sports-wise here today. We're not basketball fans. I know the March Madness is on. 2 of my coworkers are huge basketball fans, and they were like, one of them was like, I'm not doing anything next week. March Madness is on. And I was like, dude. First of all, keep that to yourself. Like, I don't care, but also don't loop me into that. So yeah, anyway. All right. This next color here is our last regular drill. And then we're on to the specials that Diamond Art Club has charted. And then I will talk to you guys about the specials that I have chosen because I am excited. So 6033. Now this kit already has a lot of specials, and then I'm adding more. So I think she's gonna be beautiful once she's finished. So we have charted from Diamond Art Club 3 ABs. So let's get these into containers. So we have a bright pink 603. I tried not to double up any of the colors. So when I was going through my special drills, you know, I had one of the other pinks and I was like, oh, I'll use this one. And then I was like, wait a minute. Diamond Art Club already charted a pink, so I don't need another pink. So I tried to only choose colors that they hadn't chosen versus like having 3 different shades of pink, if that makes sense. Okay, and then they have chosen 954, which is a beautiful green. This one, love that color. Am I using the funnel right now? No. Am I spilling drills? Yes. Good job, Laura. And then finally, for their charted ABs, we have 3846, which is a blue. So 3846, use the funnel. Pour this in. Perfect. All right, and then Diamond Art Club also chose 5 fairy dust drills. If you saw my unboxing, I was thrilled to see that they chose 2 different yellows, which yellow is my favorite color special drill. So we have 743. I am going to put some dryer sheets in these ones because they're not overly staticky, but they definitely have a little bit of static. Next, they chose a light yellow, like a butter yellow. in 745. Ooh, oh gosh, oh no, the static. I jinxed myself. I jinxed myself with that one. Okay, let me corral all of these. And let me just pop this right in the middle. There we go. Steven is on the phone again. Sorry if you guys can hear that. Okay, 7:45. We're almost done. I do apologize for this one taking a little bit longer than anticipated. Okay, we're on to 9:55. And then, ooh, so pretty. Gosh, the colors in this one. Absolutely love them. I'm getting a little squirrely here. Sorry, guys. Okay, 9:55. And then next is 3811. Really pretty. And then let's get these in here. This color to me with the fairy dust coating, it's just so beautiful because it kind of gives it like that little bit of a blue tint, and I think that's going to look really pretty in this diamond painting. And then finally, for what Diamond Art Club has charted, we have 3856, which is kind of like a peach color. So let's get this one in here. And then we can talk about the specials that I'm adding. So I have some binders of special drills. I did a whole like reset video with you guys on that a couple of years back. It hasn't changed since then. So I took the sticker sheet and I matched up some DMCs. So like I mentioned, let me know your thoughts and opinions on the 3865 situation. Do I go with the yellow tint of the traditional 3865? Do I go with 5200 fairy dust instead? Please let me know your thoughts on that. But other colors that I want to use that I pulled out of my stash, I did not have to buy these. These are ABs, which I think I've mentioned before that fairy dust drills are my favorite special. I do love an AB, and if an AB is ever meant for a painting, it's a painting like this. Like, she screams AB energy to me. So to keep track of special drills that I'm adding into a kit, this is how I do that. So I have these little mini trays from Forever Young. I love these. I have the whole set, which is 7. It comes in a little stand like this, and I got them off of Amazon. They're great. I love them. Very cute. Perfect for working with special drills. So for example, 210. Here is the 210 charted in the canvas, and here is my 210 special. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a permanent marker. You can use a regular pen. You can use any color you want. And I'm just going to do a little dot on top of my washi tape. So when this container is sitting in my display, if I see the black dot, I know, hey, you have a special that you wanted to use. Now, it might get to the point where I get to the section where 210 is charted and I might decide, I don't think I want it there. Or I don't like that spot for an AB. I don't have to use it. But this is just the easiest way so that you're not always looking at all your specials. You know what color you have when you're looking at your containers. So same goes for 819. And then I have 956, which is another pink. So I mentioned that we had AB 603. This is a little bit of a different shade of pink, so I might decide not to use it. I might think it's too much pink AB, but I already had it, so I pulled it, and I'll make that call when I get to that symbol. And then I'm very excited for this one because I feel like this is not a color that you see a ton charted. It's a beautiful coral. It's 3341. I believe it's in her wings. So I definitely plan to do that swap out, but we'll see what happens. It's such a pretty AB. And then I do just want to mark 3865, even though I don't know exactly what I'm doing just yet. I do know that I will be swapping something. So that is my kitting up. Oh, and with the specials, what I'll do is I'll have my large tray. I don't know if I'm going to use this tray in particular, but I'll have my large tray, which is where I'll pour the regular DMC. And then I'll take one of the little mini trays. I'll grab a few of the special, and then I can work from both trays. So I'll just put both of these in front of me. I'll have my pen, and if I want to add in a special, I can grab a special. If I want to use the regular drill, I can grab that. So that's how I work with and add in special drills into my diamond paintings. Definitely stay tuned for this one. I feel like it's going to be a lot of fun to do some swap outs. I don't have a huge fairy dust collection, so I am only adding the ABs and then whatever we decide on for the 3865 situation. So definitely let me know down below how you're feeling about the 3865 situation. And that's going to do it for today's kitting up video. I know it was a little bit of a longer one. Thank you for hanging in with me. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you all have a great start to your week, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.